Hello, 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 hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. Welcome to Weekly Wildlife Wisdom. I'm Jules XXX and I'm a Celtic wildlife artist. And part of my passion, as you may know, is to share the beautiful wisdom and energy of wildlife, animals, nature, and how much they have to teach us and remind us of who we really are. And this week, I handed it over to all of you guys to decide who you wanted to hear from. And I had three different species that were showing up quite a lot around here in my life, physically in this instance. It's not always physical. You can sometimes see them in TV programs or on the side of a bus or wherever. But the three that I was seeing and still seeing here are the great spotted woodpeckers, who are raising lots of young at the moment, which is wonderful. Herons, who were the winners. We're going to talk about them in a second. And also hares. We've been so lucky to be blessed to see hares really up close and personal. I had an amazing encounter 2 nights ago. I was walking quietly up our lane, country lane, and two hares, big adult hares, came blasting out of a field through the gate, chasing each other. Didn't see me for a few seconds, and then they saw me and they turned and ran away. And then quickly, within a few seconds, I carried on walking because I thought I'd just go to the gate entrance to see if I could see them. One of them came back, and I scared him and he scared me, and I made a noise like "woo!" And then he shot off up the lane at goodness knows what speed, but so fast. So I stood for a second, then I moved closer to the field gate, and the other large male was just sitting there, not far away, probably about 10 feet away, just looking at me. And I had a magical few seconds with him before he lolloped away, and then went into full speed running across the field. It was just magical. So that was a blessing. But you guys voted for heron, so we're going to have a look at heron. So thank you to all of you that voted, and I will do more of those because it's quite good fun to see who sparks your interest in terms of sharing their wisdom. And I will share the other two as well in time. Hi Susie. Susie's saying hoping to catch up and take some pictures tomorrow. Yes, Susie was saying she's very busy. And I saw the first of this year's raccoon babies this morning. How wonderful. That must be amazing. We don't have raccoons in the UK, Susie, but they are beautiful beings, aren't they? And got a very interesting energy. So maybe we could talk about them at some point as well. So let's dive into heron energy, because I know that's why you're here. And I normally take between 15 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. So I try to keep these short and sweet. But if you have any questions or something resonates with you and you want to comment, I'll always come back to you afterwards to share anything that I think might be of help to you as well. So herons, if you've ever seen herons, there are herons all over the world, different subspecies of herons. And as usual, they all have a particular specific meaning, but I'm going to keep it more generalized for heron today so that it doesn't matter where you're watching from and who might be the particular subspecies you have around you. They are magnificent birds. And whenever I see them, and I have been lucky in the last week, had two herons, which is unusual to see two flying together closely. So I presume they were either mates, or it was a fairly well-developed adolescent and parent flying very close by back of the house window, bedroom window, which was amazing, because when they fly, they really do remind me of dinosaurs. In fact, they remind me of dinosaurs when they're on the ground as well. I don't know if you feel the same, but they are such an ancient bird, and they hold this beautiful ancient wisdom, as all animals do. But they all have their own particular perspective. And so I called this weekly wildlife wisdom Heron Stillness Speaks. So my sense of tuning into the herons this week when I've seen them is that they're showing us how important, vital, which means life sustaining, stillness is for us, for all of us. And at the moment, probably for quite a long time, human species have tended to very much favour action, physicality, movement of the physical sort, busyness, and I think the tangent towards the extreme end of the polarity of busyness is really quite rampant on the planet generally for humans. And we tend to avoid, ignore, tell ourselves we don't have time for stillness. And the heron's saying that stillness is absolutely vital. And the reason for that, well, maybe I'll ask you, what do you think is the reason or the value or the essential nature of quietening down, being still physically, sitting still, lying still, sitting cross-legged, and quietening down that noisy inner dialogue that's going on, or the external stimulus that's all around us in today's overstimulated, caffeinated world of humans? What is the importance of that? Don't expect you to answer unless you want to, but just ponder that maybe over the next few days. What is it that Heron want us to get about stillness, and why are they saying it's so important? And I'll add a few of my sort of initial thoughts, but I'd love you to ponder that for yourself as well. For me, stillness is about centering, it's about rebalancing, it's about coming back to the central way, the way of balance, and being able to observe from a detached perspective. And I always talk about detaching with love. So it's not that you become cold and disconnected, but it's that you can step back a little bit on your own life, on your own feelings, on your own situations, on things that are happening around you. And you can observe from a quieter, calmer place, and you can get a different perspective so that you can then get away from this chatterboxing and urgency to do and to respond and to retaliate and to correct and to amend and to change and to shift, because there is a place for that. But the herons really teach. If you watch them hunting, they will find a place where they know from an inner knowing that there is going to be some food for them, and they will position themselves in the best place, and then they go into this beautiful stillness, and they can be there for hours and you will hardly see them move. Even their breath will become lighter and so delicate that you would think they're a statue. But in this stillness becomes a deep focus, and for them it will be focusing on watching for a prey to hunt, and to be in the perfect place and time and alignment to then strike at exactly the right moment. And that's the message, I think, for us to ponder, is when we come into a place of stillness, and that doesn't have to be hours every day, that's completely impractical for most of us, but it can be just 5 or 10 minutes a day. Ideally, when you are most peaceful, so first thing in the morning, I tend to do that, or just before you go to bed at night, or any time that you've got some space in the day. And let's face it, we've all got 5 to 10 minutes. We maybe push it away and pretend we haven't because for some reason, we can be a little bit resistant to getting still and listening to what's, our inner wisdom is. I don't know quite what that is. Maybe it's the ego not wanting to hear that balanced guidance. But doing that gives us an opportunity to gather ourselves, ground ourselves, have a deeper, broader perspective of what is needed, where we want to be going, and what we want to be manifesting or allowing into our life experience. And that can only really come from stillness, because otherwise we're just too distracted, ping, 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 all over the place, reacting to whatever's happening. Whereas in this place of stillness, as the Heron shows us, we are able to hear our inner guidance, whispers mostly, and they can be from the source that you believe that most resonates for you, God or spirit or the angels or your guardian angel or your ancestors, whatever you feel is authentic for you. You can hear when you're in the stillness, but you will not hear the whispers when you're too busy, noisy. Susie's saying vital to our well-being, I believe. Yeah, I agree with you totally there. Because our nervous system gets agitated by this busyness. And so in order to rebalance that agitation back to calm and peace, we need to shift our consciousness. So this sitting quietly, and all you need to do, if you can, out in nature, listen to nature, tune into your breathing. Don't change it, just notice it coming in and going out, coming in as it naturally does. You don't need to do deep breathing. You can if you want, but it's not necessary. Just tuning into the sounds of nature, the sound of your breath. If you can feel your heartbeat, the feel of your heartbeat, and just noticing that beautiful rhythm of life that's coming through you and is all around you. And then from that space, your nervous system begins to rebalance itself. So it becomes a lot less agitated. You feel more safe, more secure, more centered and grounded. So that is what I think is the key message from Herons for us at this point. They have other aspects, as they all do, beautiful, complex, wonderful beings around us. But that is what I feel they wanted us to pay attention to and tend to. And it is really a question of determination. And I don't mean forcing it to happen, but determine that you have 5 or 10 minutes per day, more if you can and want to engage in this act of stillness. And from that stillness, when you practice it and get used to that, the more you do it, the easier you click into it. You will then start to pick up subtle cues, maybe a thought that seems to come from deeper within you. Go here, or speak to so-and-so, or, walk this way. I get that often, don't go that way, go this way, and then something amazing happens. May not yield immediate results that you understand, but have faith to follow those little nudges and whispers, and that's where amazing things happen. There is far more to this experience of life than simply our logical mind creating scientifically proven ways of achieving things. There's a lot more behind that in the wonder of life experience and whatever this amazing creation is on the planet. And I think the animals really want us to know that and to feel that and to re-engage where we truly are meant to be, down that middle line, balanced and centered. And that is so powerful. Imagine if everybody on the planet, all humans, were taking that 5-10 minutes every day using that time to still themselves, to re-establish where they are and what's important to them, from a serving the world perspective. That would transform everything. And we would be falling over ourselves to rebalance ourselves, rebalance the way we live our lives, rebalance nature around us, and allow her to come back to balance. So there you are. I'm going to stop there on Heron. I did want to mention, those of you in the UK, I'm not sure if it's going to view in other countries, so apologies if not. There's a new film that's coming out today that David, my husband, and I are going to see not long after I finish this call, called delete that. That's what I call it. It's called Wilding, not Rewilding. It's called Wilding, and it's the story of the Knepp estate, which is in the southern counties of England. And it's a wonderful story of a couple who inherit a large house and the land that goes with it, that was farming land, but it was completely unfit for purpose. It had been basically exhausted, and over I think it's past 20 odd years, they've allowed it to just rewild itself, and they've brought in various helpful species, and they've been scientifically monitoring everything that's going on. So it's that story and documentary. So if you're in the UK, have a look for Wilding. I think if you just go to wilding.com or just Google Wilding and the Knepp estate, you can find the details of where that film is showing. Susie's saying, I read about that. Fantastic. Yeah, it's an amazing story. You can get the book. I know you can get the book globally, called Wilding, which tells the story, and this is the documentary of it. So I'm really excited to go and watch that today. I feel very lucky to be going to watch that. So I'll maybe share a little bit more over on my Instagram and Facebook following that. So that's it for today. I'm going to love you and leave you in peace and stillness, and encourage you to ponder this idea of choosing to spend some time each day, if you don't already, to go inward and to listen with your heart. And Susie's saying, we can all wild our homes and workplaces. So exciting. Yes, it's everything. The small things that we can do, the choices that we make, where we spend our money on what and how we tend to our wild spaces or not, all makes a difference. And that's the heartening and enlivening part of where we are on the planet at the moment. So that is really cool. Next Friday, all being well, 10 o'clock here on YouTube, as always now, I will be dedicating Weekly Wildlife Wisdom to giraffes, because it is International Giraffe Day next Friday. So it has to be giraffes. So I'll be sharing wildlife wisdom from the giraffes, which I hope you'll be able to join me to watch, or the replay if this time doesn't suit. It's all good. So I'm sending you lots of love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I'd love to hear from you with a comment or an email, and watch this space, as I will bring back and talk about woodpeckers and hares as well at a later week. So take good care. Thank you so much, and see you very soon. Bye for now.